All right, today we're unboxing the Enduro Ebike's frame set and Moto seat. All right, we got Sully. Oh yeah, he got a little bit younger.
Yeah, we dropped about 8 years.
So this is something that we've been discussing ever since we got the Frigo X2 Pro. We decided to, I don't know, do our own stealth bomber build. There's a lot of different frames that you can find on Amazon, eBay, and I did some digging and everyone said, get the Enduro Ebike's frame set. And this was sort of their latest frame that they had on the website. I also didn't want the traditional bike saddle. I wanted more like a Moto seat.
Let's pop this bad boy open and check it out. See what all came with it. We're assuming this is the seat, so we're gonna pop this open first and check that out. Lots of tape, it's good, you know, nice and secure. All right, bubble wrap, love to see it. So this must be the subframe and the seat combined. This is a big seat. It seems to be kind of in the middle of the Light B and the Ultra B seat. It has the length of the Ultra B, but it has the width of the Light B.
That is pretty cool. I'm assuming also this is where we will be installing the controller. The quality is really good. You got this little cutout here that says Garmata. Shout out to Garmata.
I mean, it's heavy duty, which is what you want for a bike like this. I mean, you don't want it to be flimsy. So yeah, no, definitely cool. Let's continue on, eh? Oh, nice. A nice adjustable kickstand. Super heavy duty. A box of mystery hardware to mount the seat. How could we have guessed? There is a lot of stuff to unpack here. The main frame, the swing arm, some sealant tape of some kind, a wire loom, some hardware. It looks for the headset, also for the headset. Ooh, authentication card.
Really good sign. Like I said, we could have bought this from Amazon, from eBay. I'm glad we went with Enduro Ebikes.
Yeah, so let's start pulling stuff out of here and checking it out. So far, not a scratch on them. Everything looks uniform and super high quality.
Definitely what I was looking at in the pictures was to make sure that it actually had the bottom barrel. And so all of this is already installed and you just got to put your cranks on. And depending on, I guess, the wheels and the shock that we want to put in the rear, that's going to kind of tell us what size crank we want. Having the option to choose our own size and also the chainring is pretty sweet. So, and we don't have to worry about having to source like a bottom bracket.
So moving on to the frame. Plastic on all the way around, covers. The bearings are pre-installed in the headset. You got the swing arm bearings. I'm assuming these are swing arm bearings. Already pre-installed here on the frame. Always nice when you don't have to press anything in, because pressing bearings is not fun without a press. The frame isn't as heavy as I expected it to be. It's a pretty reasonable weight for a frame. I mean, it's not too much heavier than a Sur-Ron.
That's because we're going to be using a hub motor.
Because of the hub motor, because we're probably going to have a pretty decent sized battery in it, and all the components are steel and they're very solid, very strong. The biggest issue with the Sur-Rons that I've noticed is the swing arm is very flexible. So when you slam on the brakes and you do a skid, if you do a slow motion, you'll see the whole frame, or the subframe rather, kind of flex to where there is absolutely no way this thing will flex on you. I mean, I would bet a lot of money on it. Yeah, so bear with us here. We have not worked on any of these before.
And there's no instructions, obviously.
Yeah, this is a very DIY project, so we are gonna just have to figure it out for ourselves, and that's exactly what we intend to do.
We've never built a stealth bomber before. I know there's a big community for DIY stealth bombers, and you guys just are like super nerdy about it, so don't judge.
This is our first rodeo.
If we screw it up, then you could judge us.
Nah, this build's gonna be sick.
So we already have a Far Driver 72300 from Iconic Cycles, and we will link that in the description. For the battery and for the motor, we are sourcing those from our good friends at Powerful Lithium. I'm already talking to V and sent him some of the measurements, but we're gonna actually measure it physically just so that we're approximate with the measurements for the battery. I know how he likes to design batteries and he wants to utilize all the space that's available.
8 bolts, take off the side cover, 8 screws, and what are we looking at here?
We got a little bit confused, so the seat stem mount is actually inside of the frame, and it's just like bolted in just so it doesn't like flop around in there.
All right, so we have it so it is oriented correctly now. This being the bottom, this being the top. This is roughly where this is gonna sit. I'm just kind of holding it here. There's no bolts holding it. But with this seat, I believe this goes away.
Yeah, I think that goes away.
And then this will go on like so. Okay. So you don't need the normal seat post, but they do include it. So you do have it if you do want to revert it to the mountain bike style seat. So I'm assuming this bolts into here, and the swing arm works independently off of those bearings. Okay, so then the rear shock mount comes also mounted like the seat bracket did inside the frame, just to save on packaging space, but it is adjustable in 3 different positions, or I don't know if I'm orienting this right, but one of these 2 orientations, it is able to be moved. Yeah, I think it's this way. But anyways, it does have 1, 2, 3 positions that you can put it in, so depending on your the rider height, you're able to adjust the suspension accordingly.
Well, I am excited.
Yeah, I'm so ready to make this thing go fast. 72 volt hub motor.
So we're gonna do 72 volt.
Maybe we could do 72 volt. We could go more.
And then we also have to source a fork. I think we might. Now, would this fit the Reflosa?
So you can make this fit anything you want it to make fit. You just got to have the correct bearings on the inside. I don't know what the size of these bearings are off the top of my head, but we can look into that and figure out what will go directly into this. And worst case scenario for new bearings and a whole new headset, you're talking maybe $6 on Amazon, so no big deal.
All right, first impressions with this unboxing for the Enduro Ebike frame set and MX2 Moto seat.
Yeah, first impressions, definitely a lot of very strong looking parts here. It looks super good. I'm super excited to see what this turns out to be. I'm ready to do some wheelies on it already, and it's not even put together yet. It doesn't even have tires or wheels.
I'm glad we went this route. Hit or miss on Amazon, hit or miss on eBay, so it'd be kind of tough to do a build like this and not recommend it, or recommend it to you guys, and then the company either doesn't exist anymore, or
they never really existed in the first place.
Yeah, or the frame cracks or whatever.
And then you're stuck with something that you can't do anything with.
Exactly. So this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a great companion for our Frigo X2 Pro. I think what we're going to miss, and to be honest, not a lot of information about, is the actual working pedal assist for a far driver. So we might not have the cadence sensor here.
Or we figure it out. And we make it work. But we're going to try. We're going to try, but no promises.
Yeah, this is really not a pedal assist bike.
If it were mine, it would have pegs on it. It wouldn't have.
I mean, we can. That's the thing.
I know we can, but I know you're not going to want it that way, so.
I mean, we could try it both ways. We do have our peg conversion kit if we want to just do pegs. But I think it'd be cool to just see what it looks like with the single speed chain.
Yeah, and maybe if there's any companies that have the pedals that flip into pegs, hit us up, you know? They are a thing, and that would be really cool to review on a bike like this. It would make sense on a bike like this, so.
Yeah. So we're just gonna put this video out. I feel like, you know, we're gonna spend our time with this, so this will be like a series of videos. If you have any questions or comments, we're gonna drop this one pretty quickly, but if you have any questions or comments before we start ordering parts, things you wanna see, parts you want to see on this bike.
Or if you've built a stealth bomber or something similar in the past and you have experience, you know, tell us about your experience. Let's hear about it. I'm definitely open to hearing other builds.
Yeah.
Other than what we have in mind.
Yeah. The last thing we built was like the Ego mini bike, and that was a similar like high-powered hub motor e-bike, but very different in that we were starting with a fully built bike and sort of gutting it.
Right, to where now we're starting with a frame and we're making it our own.
Which is really cool because now we could choose the parts that we want. We could choose the battery that we want, custom fit. And again, we'll put all the links in the description as we put this thing together.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.